What's up everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we are watching, I'm reacting to Francis Ngannou's open workout. We're gonna look at him sparring, doing some pad work, and we're gonna look at him and Mike Tyson being alongside one another, seeing what sort of tips Tyson can give him and why he might be giving them to somebody like Francis Ngannou. Now, the first thing I wanna mention is open workout. Do you believe it is actually Francis Ngannou giving you 100% of himself? Is he going to show Tyson Fury camp exactly who he is, or is he just going to move around? I don't actually have an answer for you. Some people go 100%. They give it their all in open workouts. Other people, they do something chilled out. So we're not really sure here what Ngannou is doing, but let's take a look at the sparring. You can tell for big guys that they are being very aware. Yes, we have a lot of power, and yes, we need to go very light, because they don't have any headgear on, and not that headgear really helps with actual brain trauma, but it can lead to more damage, nose gets broken, other bad things can happen, head clashes. So the pace that they're going at, this kind of looks like 20% sparring. What am I noting when I see this? What are the initial thoughts that are popping into my head? First thing I'm wondering is, why is Ngannou sparring with somebody shorter than himself when he's going to be sparring somebody or fighting somebody so much taller than him? You would think that even for the light stuff, he'd want to be getting used to, oh, it's going to be very hard to hit Tyson Fury, because Tyson Fury is not going to stand right there. He's not going to stand right in that zone and exchange. And if he does stop to exchange, he's going to be far away, further than Ngannou's reach will give him. So he's going to have to be learning to, okay, I got to stay on the outside, I got to stay on the outside, and when I do approach, I've got to get my head off the center line. And I've got to really work once I get to the inside. But overall, I like the light work here. I do hope he's getting some harder rounds in. Let's watch a little bit more of this sparring, see if there's anything that we can note, anything that maybe he's doing really good job on, or anything that could be improved upon, in my opinion. It's a lot of little steps, not a whole lot of hand action at the moment. I feel like one of the issues that's going to really hinder him in this fight is just the fact that Fury is so good at just tapping. He'll just pop, 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 pop. He'll throw that jab out, he'll flick it, he'll be on the balls of his feet, sort of dancing around. He's kind of minimizing his output. How much effort do I need to put in? Oh, not that much. Ngannou, I don't think he wants to play that game with Tyson Fury. And I would like to see him in some hard boxing rounds to see really what his game plan is. But of course, he doesn't want to show exactly what his game plan is. So just getting some light movement isn't a bad thing, I suppose. I think that's Dewey Cooper on the right. He used to compete in K1, and obviously Mike Tyson on the left. I think Dewey Cooper has been in Ngannou's corner for many years, helped him get the UFC title. One of the things that will be most interesting is, do we note any massive differences in his style as opposed to what he was doing in the UFC? Because boxing is very different. A lot of jabs, just working the jabs. He kind of flares his elbow out very slightly when he jabs. It's not like, oh, this is coming out of nowhere. See how that elbow's high? Not as big a deal, perhaps, because he doesn't have to worry about round kicks, but for somebody like Fury, any little tell, especially with Fury's head movement and ability to be evasive, it's going to be hard to land those jabs. Something that's interesting about Ngannou, in my opinion, is when you watch him on the pads, even when he is trying to hit really hard, and obviously he does hit tremendously hard. The guy, I don't know his exact height, I think he's like 6'4", and his weight is probably something like 250. So he hits like a truck. He's just all muscle. Crazy athlete. But he doesn't look like he hits tremendously hard when he's on the pads. Why? Because the speed is not there. And I'm not saying he doesn't hit hard, because obviously he does. But when you watch him, you're not like, whoa, look at that speed, look at that jab. Really what I sort of get when I watch him is this guy just naturally has so much power. His technique is not perfect. Like right now, he's not trying for 100% technique, but maybe later on we'll see him pick it up. But it still, to me, does not look super scary. Okay, here comes Tyson. What's Tyson's advice? So he's getting him to throw the cross to the body, but get the head off the center line. And when you see Tyson throw, see, he's dynamic. He's fast. He moves. Even at his age, he makes Ngannou look pretty stiff and slow. Why, when you throw a body cross, do you drop the head to the side? Well, obviously it's going to increase power, but also it gives you more defensive abilities because your head is no longer straight. If you come 1 to 2, your head is right there for the counter. 1 to 2, you're going to be that much safer. That's why Tyson has him doing that. Also leads to a nice follow-up with the left hook because you went from here and then you can spring back. One of the people that I kind of go, we should compare Ngannou to in terms of power, because everybody I've talked to about this fight says the same thing. They go, Ngannou has a puncher's chance. If he hits Fury, it's going to be over. We'll come back to that in a second. Let's see what Tyson is still saying here. Now rip down to the body. So he's getting him to utilize that drop rotation to come back and really unwind. This is a pleasure watching Tyson, even at the age that he's at now, perform and demonstrate anything, because he's just still so dynamic. Even when he shows something short and small like that, you're just going, whoa, this is a dynamic, explosive guy who just has amazing technique, utilizes all the facets of how to create power, rotating the body, twisting the feet, hips, just whipping in, and then obviously the arm at the end. He just does so many things which are so fantastic. Anyway, we were talking about Deontay Wilder. I feel like a comparison should be made between Ngannou and Wilder because they both hit crazy hard. Ngannou is known for hitting crazy hard with 4-ounce gloves and dropping people. Wilder with the 10-ounce gloves, or whatever he's fighting in, probably 10s, maybe 12s because of the size, he's known for knocking people out with that right hand with the small gloves, or the big gloves, sorry. And to me, that is so impressive, where you scare people. And you might go, oh, it's just a smaller glove, it doesn't help that much. Yes, it does help. There's a big difference, a lot more padding. If Tyson Fury has fought Wilder, who's considered one of the hardest punchers, not just in boxing, but in the world, in any fight sport, if you're going, this guy knocked Fury down once, and Fury still got back up when everybody else is falling, he's tough. Puncher's chance for Ngannou, yes, maybe against most people. Against Fury, dude is tough. Yeah, he's skilled, but my gosh. I like Dewey Cooper, he's getting jolted a little bit by that sort of shovel uppercut. Like that step back is definitely a hard thing to accomplish for most people. Dewey Cooper's not a small man. Still working that same drop. It'd be interesting overall to really be a fly on the wall from the beginning to the end of seeing Ngannou with Tyson and see really what can he bring. What can he bring to this fight to help Ngannou? That was a nice looking combo. So when you see Wilder hit hand pads, it just looks like it just destroys his pad holder's shoulders and the pad is just getting jolted. Again, Ngannou's not hitting as hard, or trying to hit as hard. But I just question whether these training tactics of sort of chill pace is ideal. But that nice right, I have trouble seeing that Fury's going to let the fight come to here. I think it'll be a longer range fight, or when you get to the inside, it's going to be some dirty boxing, and I don't know if Ngannou's going to have the chance to get off 4-piece combos like that. I'd be very surprised that he gets off any 4-piece combo where he can start at the head for 3 and then rip down to the body, and by the time he gets to the body, if Fury is still going to be there. I just don't see it. I feel like the big thing that I would be trying to work for Ngannou is how are we going to close distance rapidly? Like if Fury is throwing some long, sloppy sort of jabs or something, like how are we going to get to the side, roll under, and spring forward to catch him, to surprise him? I feel like that kind of stuff is more on point, but what do I know? They got Tyson. They got Tyson there, so I'm sure they have a great idea of what they should be doing. And again, it's an open workout, so we don't really know what they have cooking when they're actually doing their regular workouts. But this, in all honesty, is just something that I wanted to watch. I went, well, by the time I'm watching it, I might as well do a reaction video to it, share with you guys what's happening in my head. So far, nothing massive, nothing crazy where I'm like, wow, look at this game plan, or look at that technique. That could be the punch that knocks Fury out. I haven't seen any of that yet. And if you didn't already hear, Fury already has a fight lined up against Usyk, hope I'm saying that right, who is also an undefeated boxer. They have a fight set up down in, I think the Saudis are financing the whole thing, so maybe it's in Dubai, Arab Emirates. I think that's where it is. I heard some rumors today about how much money they're going to be getting paid for that fight, and I think it just shows how confident Fury is that he's just going to walk through Ngannou. I think Ngannou is pretty awesome, in my opinion. He's pushing a little faster there. It's a lot of muscle to carry around to be really fast, I suppose. I think Ngannou is pretty amazing. What he accomplished in the UFC, how he walked away, how he didn't cave under the demands of the UFC, how he secured a fight for himself right now where he'll probably make more in this one fight than he did his whole UFC career. Stood up for himself. I think that's pretty amazing. I have nothing but respect for this guy. See, right in there, it's kind of like, whoa, those are some big arms to carry, but it's definitely sluggish looking. But I guess when you weigh that much, it's a lot of energy to get those arms going really fast. I just love watching Tyson on small movements. Let's see if he starts ripping here a little bit more. Okay, so I like this simulation. I like this simulation a lot. There's Fury trying to grab on, trying to hold, rip. He's a little slow on the time it takes him to get the punch off, though. Fury's going to touch and have you off balance. It's got to be like, get caught, hit right away. That's what's got to happen. So a little slow to getting to that point where I feel like that's going to work. But I do like that element. First thing that I've seen where I'm going, okay, this could actually work in the fight. Throwing a body cross, I don't see Fury just walking in and landing a body cross very easy. I would suspect that Tyson's just, kind of there for fun. Maybe he's getting paid some good money for being there. Probably likes Ngannou. A little slow on that re-chamber off the cross for sure. It's just something that Fury's good at. He's just a good all-around fighter. Got the good counters, good head movement. Maybe a hard guy to hit. I almost feel like telling Ngannou to, aim for the chest early on. Really try and smack him hard right down the middle where he can't evade, he can't slip, he can't lean back with that extra height he has. It'd be a good starting point, just so you can start making connection or in the early rounds. Just actually touch him. This is a fight. If somebody said to me, who's going to win? Obviously, Fury. I don't really think there's anybody in the MMA world who can do a crossover to boxing and fight one of the highest level boxers and actually win. I know people like Sean O'Malley were calling out Gervonta Davis, saying like, oh, I would KO him. It's a different sport. You're not going to be able to hit the guys as easy. They're going to be more evasive. I just don't see it going well. I don't see any fighters who can do it. Conor McGregor did a very good job against Mayweather, better than I thought he'd do. But Mayweather also gifted him a different fight style that we normally see. We never see Floyd put his hands up like this and let somebody sort of tee off on him. And he just did that right from the opening bell. If he was fighting his normal fight, the way he did with everybody else, all evasion, it would have been completely different. So really, the sense I get from this open workout is I don't see anything that's going to convince me that Ngannou has a big chance. Not even a puncher's chance in my mind, because Deontay Wilder, I think, hits harder than Ngannou, has a better boxing mindset. We have somebody coming in from a different sport. I just don't think there's a way he's going to win. I could be wrong, and maybe I will be shocked. The rest of the world will be shocked. But I think this will be a fight that Fury can go in, play around, knock Ngannou out. I think he will knock Ngannou out. And then put his focus on Usyk, which will be a harder fight. A much harder fight, even though Usyk is very small. So I hope you guys enjoyed watching that with me. It was interesting to actually see that happen and see what their training game plan is, see what Tyson had to offer. Yeah. Hope you guys enjoyed it. As always, guys, train hard, and I will see you back to the channel very soon.